Hey kids, when you caught your first fish, you probably caught it using a minnow. Or when you catch your first fish, you'll probably use it catching a minnow. Did you know that Arkansas is the #1 state in the country for raising minnows? It's a $400 million industry for the state of Arkansas, and billions of minnows get shipped out every year from our natural state. Today, we're going to talk about how we make the minnows. We'll also talk about why this industry is so important to our state of Arkansas, and we'll meet one of the farmers. We're in Lone Oak, Arkansas today, and we're at IF Anderson Farms. This is Jamie Anderson. He is one of the fish farmers that raises the minnows. Now, your father grew minnows, your grandfather and your great-grandfather grew minnows. You've been doing this for a long time.
That's right. For 75 years now, since the late 40s, we've been raising minnows right here in the same location. My granddad and great-granddad came over from Mississippi, and they were running minnows back and forth from Mississippi and running to bait shops, and they were trading with a guy that was right across the highway here from our current headquarters, and he had some minnows that were caught locally that they really liked, and that were better than what they were bringing from Mississippi. He wasn't sure in the beginning why these fish were better, but he figured it had to be something with the groundwater, which had great groundwater here, good flat land, so easy to build ponds, good soil to hold water. So he really didn't know in the beginning. It was, he was a gambler. He was gambling to see if it would work, and it did.
Now, these minnows that we use to catch fish are also used for other things too. It's not just for people to go out and catch fish.
Right. The bulk of what we raise does go to the bait market, but there's also a lot of it that goes to stocking in ponds that have bass and crappie and catfish because they need something to eat. We sell to zoos to feed everything from sea lions and seals and penguins and snakes and frogs and turtles. We sell to rehabilitation centers where people collect wildlife that's been injured and they rehabilitate it and they need natural food for it. We sell to aquariums, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's aquariums. Those big old bass everybody loves to see, they've got to eat something.
And whenever you take livestock or live fish across state lines, you have to be able to make sure that those fish are safe, and there's a way that we do that here in Arkansas.
Right. Over 20 years ago, we decided that we wanted to be ahead of anything that might come about. So we started a certification program, and the federal government oversees this program, and they make sure that all these diseases that nobody in the United States wants in their coming across state lines, they make sure that none of those are on our farm, our fish are healthy.
That's how we maintain a big industry for the state of Arkansas. Now let's go inside the farm and see how the minnows are made. Every minnow has a beginning, and we are in what's called the hatchery. This is where the minnow eggs come. They are placed in these tubs, and millions of minnows will begin their journey right here. When the minnows are ready, they'll leave the hatchery, and then they'll come outside to the ponds. Now, these minnows will stay in these ponds until they are fully grown. And a farm like this one will have hundreds of ponds. When the fish are ready to leave the pond, they do so through a process called seining. And this is where the farmers will get a huge net and bring it around all of the fish and gather them up in one place. Once the minnows are taken from the ponds, they're brought here to the sorting tanks. Now this is where they can separate the minnows by size for each customer. And then the minnows are ready to be shipped all over the country. One of the ways these minnows get all over the country is through the mail. You can get your minnows in the mail. We're here in the mail room at this minnow farm. Over 400,000 fish can get shipped just today alone. They're shipped alive with oxygen and water, and they're ready to fish the next day. Today we got to learn why Arkansas is the #1 state in the country for minnows. We also got to meet a minnow farmer, Jamie Anderson of IF Anderson Farms in Lone Oak. We got to see the journey of a minnow. We got to see when they start in the hatchery, how they go out to the ponds and grow, and then they come here to the tanks, and that's when they get sorted out. And they can ship by truck or by mail, as you saw, all over the country. This farm ships to 46 states. And now you know the big journey of the little minnow.